Alrighty, we're live. There we go. Forget to want to have my mic quite close to me for this one. But back for more Katawa Shoujo, and I imagine, yep, the moment I tap back into it, it's going to disappear on me. If I just cycle through different menus, will it? There we go. Okay. Seems like doing stuff in it tends to make it work better. What's the library? Oh, that's just all the different acts. There's quite a lot of chapters in it. So I'm guessing these are to do with the bad ending for Emmy. How much? Okay. Yeah, Rin, I suppose, is a bit more, because I know Rin has a neutral ending. 45% complete already. But no. Today we're gonna be starting on, well, trying to start on Lilly's route. I'll be resetting if I end up on Emmy or Rin's route again. But if I manage to get onto Hanako or Shizune's route, I'll just stick with that. But Lilly is who I'm aiming for. So let's start. And if I remember correctly, yes, tab is always good. So I want to introduce myself to the class. Would this make a difference? It's hard to say. I don't know quite enough about Lilly, I'm not sure. I feel probably saying yeah earns me kind of... I don't know if... I imagine like there's some kind of like point system in the start that kind of then leans towards like whoever you have the most points with like determines whose route you end up on. Or maybe I'm just thinking of this too much of like RPG mechanics rather than visual novel choices. The why, do you want to... That feels like it comes in more to like Hanako's character. Kind of like that hesitation to, put yourself in front of people. So I think I'll keep with that choice. Hello, you two again. Shizune's deafness. Let's go to the library. I think I got everything. I feel as well, kind of, given that Lilly and Shizune don't get along, that choices involving Shizune maybe are not ones to go for. At least not yet. So it's choice I've had again. I'll go to the library maybe, because I know that's where Hanako hangs out. And Hanako is connected to Lilly. Oh, it's the good old nurse who I really don't know why he's never named. Yeah, how much time you spend, like you kind of immediately spend with Misha and Shizune? Act aggressively. Later. Oh. I'm gonna... What's the dialogue up to this point again? Okay, I think I'm gonna play defensively. Oh wait, I didn't want to... I'm just completely guessing through most of this. Oh, there's our first hangout with Lilly. Is there a choice at all here? is apologizing the right option, or... See, part of me wonders about... Because I know in the prologue as well, we did get a fairly, like, decent interaction with Lilly when we met Rin in town as well, and I wonder if I still want to get that encounter. I think that's what I'll go for. Until I know there's one decision I definitely want to make differently. Who's... No, it is about Hanako again. Keep with the same decisions here. Okay, this... Oh, hello, my dear. Welcome to the stream. You don't need to apologize. I was late myself anyway. I kind of had forgotten that when I'd been doing, like, trying to fix that issue with my graphics card, I'd also, like, reset my cache and such, so I had to figure out what my Twitch login was again. Yep, still in the prologue. Keep reading at the moment. I have vague ideas of the choices that I know that I want to make. Hello, Rin. And I promise to be more serious about this from now. That is about the taking your medication and all, or oh no, the exercise. You're winging it still. I am still winging it so far, but I have ideas for where I want to go with this, and I think for now it's kind of like following the route I took to get to Rin. You should say yes to this. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking that. Because I think I still want to get that encounter where we spend all that time with Lilly, like, in town. Okay. Now here I'm guessing I definitely have to side with... They're required to say no to get onto a girl's route? Yeah, this is... So take Lily's side, I think. Okay, then this still has us hanging out with Rin. Will I be able to do more? I think take it easy? I might save here. Okay, yeah. Yeah, but take it easy. Because so far I think I'm doing... So far I think I'm on like this pretty much the same as Rin's route. The only difference is I sided with Lilly. Okay, now is there a choice? Was there a choice here? I'm trying to remember. Lilly knows all too. Okay, so is this one I'm kind of like So this is. Do I not really want to talk about? I feel the bottom option is... I don't know, like, is she I'm trying to think, like, is she someone who'd want, like, be honest with her? Okay. Yeah, I thought that'd be the right answer, but I was also kind of wondering if, like, in this scene... Yeah, because it's Rin's present as well. Like, does this make a decision between the two of them? about. You're not being dishonest when you say you don't really want to talk about it. You're just kind of just keeping it to yourself. But I suppose like confiding in it is the friendlier thing to do. Alrighty. So things are still all... Oh. Okay, so I guess, yeah, this seems like a very much deciding, like... I'm gonna guess I don't say I'm interested in the art club. That would be my assumption here. Because art club sounds like definitely that's kind of locking you onto Rin's route. There's that thing about Lilly serving at a blind girl. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not supposed to. It's just more kind of as well. I'd understand. Can't see social cues or expression. Yeah, but I suppose there's also a point, like, if someone doesn't want to share something, they don't want to share it. What am I doing? I am going to... Well, I will save the choice. I'm going to say I'm just kind of stuck with her, I think. I keep wondering that myself. The lack of anything better to do, probably. He lets out a hearty laugh, then checks his watch. I really must take my leave now, Tezuka. I'm pleased to see that this little project is going so well. I just stopped by to remind you not to run off by yourself tomorrow. I've invited certain people to the festival for you, and I'm sure they'd like to meet you as well. Already messed up? This is Rin's reading? Already? Even when I kind of am saying like I'm not joining, I'm not like not. Nomi isn't supposed to show up if it's Lily's route. Okay, I wonder what choice I must have been one of the much earlier choices then that. Also, Monday's club meeting is off, since I'm going out of town. I guess you kids can do something among yourselves if you want to. He leaves, turning around flamboyantly, and walking off as dramatically as it's possible to walk. Yeah, I'm just thinking kind of, because I imagine, like, being part of the art club was, like, a fairly big part of, like, Rin's route, at least in the early chapter. What a weird teacher. I'll be off too. See you around, Rin. Holding up a hand, I turn to go up the stairs to the dorms. Maybe, if I can finish reading these books today, the entirety of tomorrow will be free for the festival. Okie dokie. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Wakey wakey. The next day, I wake up feeling a little lightheaded. It's almost noon already. The sleeping late is fine since it's a Sunday and there are no classes. Not just a Sunday though, but the festival as well. Yeah, that's what I imagine is kind of like once you see who you're hanging with at the festival, like that's kind of your clue, like whose route you're on. From my window, I can already see some people at the soba booth slinging noodles onto plates for people for craving for low-quality food. I throw back a handful of my morning meds and ponder how to spend the day. There will be a few exams in the coming week, but I don't consider those as ominous as others, so I'm not as worried about them as I probably should be. With no urgent obligations regarding education, I should be free to spend a day at the festival as I like. Finishing my morning routine, I exit into the hallway, intending to go out and find something to eat. I can just skip this. Okay. Oh yeah, this is exactly the same. Oh, what am I going? Wait, unless if I ended up on Kenji's route. Maybe I should have asked the girl out. But then again, all things considered, I don't think I could have done anything like that. It's only my first week. A week that I have wasted being awkward around almost everyone, stumbling all over myself trying to get the hang of this place. Thinking about it, what have I accomplished? Who would I have even asked? Damn. Seems like Kenji is my only realistic option for a date today. I'll commit. This is the most depressing thing that has happened to me since I had a heart attack because a girl confessed her love to me. It can't be helped. I don't know, really. I don't have anything, I guess. But a fort seems a bit excessive. You sure you don't want to go outside? It's not like visitors won't come to the dorms today. He looks thunderstruck by this revelation. Damn, you may have a point. This place is not safe today. We must find somewhere to hide in. He falls silent for a moment, thinking. The roof! What about it? We are going to hide out on the roof for today. It's the perfect place. Nobody ever goes up there. Meet me there in 1 hour. I have to prepare. He slams the door shut and the locks click closed. Damn. What the hell's wrong with Kenji? And to think I'm now going along with his craziness. It really makes me depressed. I feel like a failure. Once I step outside, the din of the crowd greets me. The whole school is bustling with activity. There are stalls everywhere, and the crowd swarming between them is considerable. I wonder if it's more I should have spent more tried to spend more time with Hanako. I wonder if maybe I was too cautious about accidentally ending up on Hanako's route. I didn't expect the festival would attract so many visitors. I have to admit that the people in charge of decorating the place put a lot of effort into it, and it really shows. People seem to be enjoying themselves, and the atmosphere is colourful, bright, and happy. That is, if I weren't suddenly in such a foul mood. At the moment, it's more annoying than anything else. Well, it can't be helped. I decide to stick with my original plan and eat. Then, I guess I have to at least see what Kenji's up to on the roof. I do a slow circle around the grounds to kill some time, looking at the stalls, but not feeling like playing any of the games anymore. The garish colours grind my eyes, and I feel more and more ill by the minute. I can't even decide what I want to eat, and the large selection, combined with the masses of energetic festival visitors, isn't helping. I just head towards the nearest stall that seems to offer something halfway edible and get in line. Turns out to be noodles. It also turns out to be not very good. Gotta be nice, Hanako. Very good. Okay, yeah, that's probably the decisions I made wrong then. No, because I was kind of like, I was kind of nervous that I'd end up on Hanako's route. Well, at least it's nourishment. It's not like I demand anything else at this point. As I stir my disagreeable noodles, I idly wonder what the others are doing right now. Nicer? It's not that I wasn't not nice to her, I just didn't interact much. Shizune and Misha are definitely somewhere organizing things. I'd better steer clear of them. I guess they wouldn't forgive me so easily for leaving them alone with this thing. I expect Emmy to be buzzing all over the place, being depressingly cheerful. There's no chance to find her, but no chance to avoid her either, so it doesn't matter. Lilly would probably be helping her class with that festival event, and entirely too busy for another's company. Hanako wouldn't want to talk to anyone anyway, either keeping to herself or helping Lilly. Rin should be tending to her mural and has probably been unhelpful to any hypothetically interested parties. Going there for some peace and quiet seems like the nicest option of the above, but then again, I can't see having art forced on me raising my mood either, so I'll pass. Never heard of Spice? Oh, sorry. I have heard it. So to be fair, the last time I heard that song referenced, I was watching a worst pre-made ever video, and one of the members had I think a couple of members had like misheard the lyrics, and they heard it as, if you want to be my lover, you got to get with my friends, and they're all kind of confused, like this doesn't sound like quite right. Oh, yeah, this road does seem like Hisao is like getting dangerously close to agreeing with Kenji. While I was lost in thought, my food seems to have disappeared, and so has my hunger. And I guess I just blocked out the experience of eating, which should be a good thing. Satiated but unsatisfied, I turned to walk towards the main school building. An hour is almost past already. The crowd is even thicker in here than it was outside. The hallways are almost unbearable, and I don't even dare to think what it's like inside the classrooms. I head up the stairs to my destination, the roof. Thankfully the door at the top isn't locked, but now there's a handwritten sign on it. Awful, so don't mind if I don't. The festival noise is surprisingly muted up here, and the rooftop looks deserted, as expected. Near a place where the cyclone fence has collapsed, there's a pile of blankets that seems oddly out of place. Wait, did that pile just move a little? That would be strange, as there's no wind at all. I carefully stick my hand out and give it an experimental prod. Ah! Startled, I jump back. Who is it? God damn it, Kenji, it's me. Oh, damn, you scared me, man. So, what are we doing up here? We're having a picnic. What? Yeah, I have blankets, pretzels, and whiskey. Okay, I was on board with the blankets and pretzels. I'm not so on board with the whiskey. This is the ultimate setup, man. Whiskey? Aren't you a bit too young to drink alcohol? I'm 20, you know. You're not. I am, and so are you. But that's absurd. Hey, at least you get something out of it. All I get is this bottle of whiskey. I'm confused. He's rambling incoherently, but I decide to play along. So, why do you have a bottle of whiskey? My mom couldn't visit for the festival, so she sent me some expensive single malt instead. Okay. A likely story. Want some? It's not like I have anything to lose. This day can't possibly get worse. That is what you always say just before it does immediately get worse. Why not? Ah, lovely. So we had underage smoking in the last route, and now we have underage drinking. We sit down on the pile of blankets Kenji apparently dragged up here. He produces an almost full bottle of whiskey and passes it to me. You didn't even bring glasses? No, this is not some romantic princess picnic. What the hell, man? This is a manly picnic. No glasses. No napkins. Whiskey only. A beverage of true men. Whatever. And pretzels. I mean, I agree with the pretzels. I do have a fondness for pretzels, I must say. I take a closer look at the bottle. 12-year-old single malt whiskey, as he said. Shrugging my shoulders, I take a swig. It burns my throat like acid, but the taste isn't unpleasant. Okay. He sounds already better with alcohol than I am. I feel it going straight into my head, and the aftertaste lingers in the back of my mouth, craving for another swig. A load of big... Oh, yes, those pretzels are nice. I'm just... Oh, I have to go... None of the shopping centres in Ballymena have them. So it's only when I go into Belfast I can get the, mall pretzels. But I'm never in Belfast. And they're as nice as they are, it's not worth, an hour's journey each way just for a pretzel. We should outline our counteroffensive and trash talk women here, where they can't hear us. Damn, I forgot to bring my graphs. I decide to play a drinking game. Hisao, this sounds like a this sounds like a dangerous game. Every time Kenji mentions female conspiracy, I'll take a swig. Opportunity to try. I will enjoy pretzels. I'll not try. I will attempt to eat a big pretzel. Oh, what is this? Am I going to get like the American portion? 4 or 5 hours, or possibly several days later, I lost track. You shouldn't feel bad, man. He's a fuck up. Seriously. Seriously. I'm relaxed, damn it. I'm telling it as I see it. Think about it. When did housing and land start becoming more and more expensive? When women began entering the workforce, because it created 2-income nuclear families. Yeah, I forgot my graphs, but... And you'll just have to take my word for it. Women are connected to the decay of all society. Or get a bag of small pretzel bites. Why not both? Oh, no, I can't be too greedy. I see. That is kind of hard to believe. Even if I say that, somehow everything Kenji says seems to make more sense. Oh no, he's getting roped in. It all fits together, but I don't understand. I don't know if it's because he can explain things more clearly when drunk, or because I understand everything better when drunk. Or because you're understanding less when you're drunk. No man, think of the deeper implications. People could afford to start saying, oh well, since 2 members of the family are now earning money as opposed to 1, they can surely afford something like rising cost of ownership. I see your point, but land in Japan has always been expensive. And the price of land generally goes up when a country starts undergoing industrialization. But no, it's because of women. Correlation equals causation. No, that's... Like, that is, like, word for word, like a fallacy, isn't it? Like the correlation equals causation fallacy. Oh boy. I thought correlation didn't equal causation. Oh, whatever. Maybe you're right. I'm always right. Yeah. I bet women created industrialization too to cover their tracks. How diabolical. So yeah, everyone can go fuck themselves. He stands up, impressing me because I'm fairly sure I couldn't even if I wanted. He yells extremely loudly as if he's lost the concept of volume. I wince and almost want to cover my ears. Ah, how nice it would have been if I could have been down there, but no. You see, thinking like that is a trap. You think you're missing out on something, but at the end of that road is nothing but despair. Kenji snatches back the bottle and leans back his head, attempting to pour the alcohol into his mouth, but just ends up drenching himself in it. Damn it. My aim is terrible. The bad thing about drinking is that it only gets worse the longer you go. Today is the day of despair. His voice immediately drops to almost a whisper, but he starts talking much faster than before, slightly slurring his words from the whiskey. As he talks, he waves the bottle around, spilling some of it here and there. Yeah, it was the most shocking event of my life. I have a hazy recollection of him telling about the second most shocking event in his life, which was a bird pooping on his head. I don't have particularly great expectations of this, but I nodded at him to continue anyway. You wouldn't think it, but I had a girlfriend here once. I think it was last year. Yeah, I just blew your mind, huh? See, I've never told that to anyone. It's true. The thought does blow my mind. Suddenly I want the bottle. I take it from Kenji and knock back as much as I can. I was more innocent back then, and I thought she was sane, unlike most women. It was pretty okay, but then immediately following the event that is the point of all such things, something strange and scary happened. He throws himself up against the fence, leaning on it, his eyes narrowed. I started feeling incredibly tired and sleepy. This is normal, man. What the fuck? I mean, normally this would be a high-tension, adrenaline-pumping moment of anyone's life. My energy levels were dropping like a brick. Something sinister was in the works. I could feel it. That is when I knew that women are dangerous, sapping the life force of all men through the one commodity that is almost solely theirs to control. Sickening. Yeah, you're better off, dude. Kenji was right. This really is the day of despair. I drink more to avoid having to process what he just said. Now I am the last sane man in an insane world. Whenever people realize it, there'll be a war. A great war between men and the forces of feminism. But the problem is that not all men would fight on my side. Shit sucks. I can set the bar kinda low. Any men are fine. Not the dudes raised by their mom or by their sister. That's for sure. Oh, good. I feel kind of glad that I'm immediately disqualified from Kenji's planning. So my avatar looks like he's looking down quite a bit. There we go. Just will need to recenter my avatar. And then can I just get... There we go. And nobody into dick girl porn. That situation seems unlikely to me. Like it wouldn't happen, like it's not very likely to happen. The alcohol must be working. Can't have anyone who'd have sympathies for the female. I mean, it's... you know what? I have to admit, I don't feel bad about being excluded from his plan. just have to be honest. I don't really care. Regardless, I still feel depressed that I'm up here today. I wasn't really looking forward to the festival with the same excitement as the rest of the school, but still. It would have been nice to have gone with someone. From up here, it certainly sounded like everyone's having fun. Maybe I am missing out. It's just that there was no one I could have gone with. Did it come out? Yeah, it did kind of just come out of there. Or maybe there was. So many opportunities, looking back on it now, and I must have squandered so many of them. Damn, this is true despair. Worst part is that sometimes I feel like I have no choices in my life, you know? Like I never have a chance to make a decision. Shit just happens. Like it was all pre-programmed, like fate or something. Like there's no way I can have a say in what I do. Quick, ask me a question. Now. I can't really. See, this is just another example of it. Damn, shit, damn. You see? Now, when I'm trying to go against my destiny and take charge of my life, the opportunity isn't even there. Damn, man, you failed me. Failed me for the last time, jerk. He slides to his knees and then falls over onto his side, lying on the gravel of the roof. Becoming self-aware. He realizes he's not the main character in the visual novel. Hey, are you okay? No, I'm not okay. Can't you see I'm in despair? He's speaking in a sarcastic tone. Suddenly Kenji sits up, clumsily pats himself clean, and puts his hand out towards me to reach for the bottle. I put it in his hand. What the hell? Damn, you killed almost the entire bottle. See, it's like I have no options in life. Is this how it's going to be for the rest of time? Well, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be like that for the rest of time. Whatever he's talking about, my head is spinning. I get up and lean against the fence, hoping it'll help me focus a little. Yeah, I know. We have to fight the power of all we've got. It's the only way to live. You're an alright guy. This brotherly bond is what keeps me going in these dark times. We should go trolling women. Rolling women? What? Trolling women. Trolling for women. But we have to do it now, before I lose this alcohol-related courage. He's gesturing wildly, madly even. I take a step backward. He takes a step forward. What's the matter with you? Not in the mood for love? To be frank, no. I take another step backward. He takes another step forward. He leans in extremely uncomfortably close. What the hell? Stop leaning in like that. It bothers me. Lean in like what? Hey, you shouldn't lean against a fence like that. It's kind of unsafe. I try to move away from Kenji, but my balance isn't so good. Reeling from the dizziness, I grab at one of the fence posts, but then feel it give way as soon as I put my weight on it. This isn't good, though my alcohol-addled brain doesn't seem to be quite capable of registering why. Kenji's face seems to be becoming smaller though, which is a bit of a relief. Much smaller in fact, and rapidly so. There seems to be a bit of wind now. Somehow it makes me feel almost weightless. I feel dazed, like my mind has gone blank. Am I falling? I can see the night sky as I turn over in the air. The bottle floats out of my fingertips and disappears into thin air as I fall. I realize that this is the fitting end to a truly, truly bad day. Okay. That was not how I expected that to go. Kenji's a... Okay. Right. Huh. Okay, so I think I have to start again. Okay. So do I want to introduce myself to the rest of the class? Okay, I hadn't noticed before. I hadn't noticed before, but the options can change, like, what order they appear in. Okay, Mooney, you're here now. Guide me. Where did I make my mistakes? Last time I went... Yeah, I didn't go... I still haven't gone after Y, because that... I don't know, like, Lilly strikes me as the kind who's, like, polite enough that, you know, introducing herself... Like, introducing yourself seems like... the right thing to do? But again, I don't know if this, like, choice even, like, comes into it. I'm gonna be honest though, Kenji's route, I was expecting... I don't know why, I was expecting Kenji's route to kind of be... funnier? Not just kind of... get drunk, fall off a roof and die. That was not on my bingo card. Alrighty. It was kind of... What was it? I suppose there, like, was some comedy in there. See, I have guesses for where I could go, but... Yeah, of course. Last time I asked about the library, because I know that asking about the library, I think gets you meeting Hanako, and I think it gets you introduced to Lilly as well, because it's on your way to the library that you like bump into Lily's classroom. Well, not Lily's classroom, but the little room that she's having her tea in. Then yeah, I feel the asking about Shizune's it's like okay. I feel like asking about Shizune's deafness kind of scores you points with Shizune, maybe, or does it like not, or does it like go against Shizune because she maybe doesn't like people asking about it? Hard to say. Hello, nurse. Hi, Kenji. Or it's kind of rude to ask about it. Yeah. That's one kind of thing. I don't know if like Shizune's the type who's kind of would be happy that he's showing interest in, or if she's the type who's kind of like that's a bit personal. Because yeah, sometimes like what's rude or not, I think can depend on attack aggressively. Okay. Hi, Lilly. Okay, so do I need to make the different choice here and introduce myself to Hanako? Because last time I just went with the I'm sorry again. apologize to her? Okay, so stick with the same choice. So I guess the only other choice must be, unless, yeah, I imagine, yeah, I don't think saying she wasn't cute will, that feels like it's not correct. Okay, yeah, I thought so. I didn't see how saying she's not cute works. Wait, hold. Is this always an option? This wasn't an option. There were only 2 options last time I did this, right? Yes, it has always had 3. I do not remember this option. But I'm guessing, do I go talk to Hanako? Oh yeah. Oh, sorry, I hadn't seen you'd already sent that message. I could have sworn when because I did this just at the beginning of this stream when I was going through it again. I could have sworn there were only 2 options. Oh well. I still feel bad for making her run away yesterday, so I'd better say something. Hey there, Hanako. Hisao? Well, at least she remembers my name. Hey, I just wanted to apologize for yesterday. I didn't mean to startle you or anything. I'm just new here and thought I should get to know my classmates. As Hanako looks up at me, I notice her scarring once more. It's a little bewildering that you can barely notice it from across the room, but it's so noticeable from close up. That's okay. It was my fault. That wasn't anyone's fault, it just kind of happened. So, are you waiting for someone? I saw you looking at the door before. Yes, Lilly. Oh, you mean Lilly? Hisao. This feels a little tactless. You mean Lilly, the blind girl? Hanako only nods in response, and I can't help but wonder if defining people through their disabilities is a faux pas of the worst kind, or just normal here. Yeah, yeah. I suppose there's probably not much overlap between the number of yeah, I was thinking there's probably not much overlap between the number of students who are blind and also called Lilly. But yeah, that just felt a little tactless. I guess that explains why Lilly took off after her yesterday. She seems like a nice girl. Are you 2 friends? Are you the only one for the name Lilly? Lily's awful. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like Hisao kind of. I don't know. Yeah, I'm. Yeah, still a little kind of not a massive fan of Hisao after everything in Rin's Route. Never part of the disabled community allowed. I suppose, but you'd. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I know from a young age myself, I was when I went to various groups related to ASD and such. I've been around a lot of people with varying levels of disability. So maybe my experience doesn't say much, but does it not just sound not right just to go, oh, you mean Lilly the blind girl? And I don't know, it just, I feel there's a polite or a more polite way to word that. She seems like a nice girl. Are you two friends? Yes. As if hoping for Lilly to appear, she checks over her shoulder again. I think I'm making her nervous again. I hope I'm not disturbing you right now. No, that's not it. It's just easier if Lilly doesn't come here. Oh, because it's hard to get around the classroom? Oh, I think it's because of Shizune. Not really. Hanako's gaze drifts past my shoulder and toward Shizune. Shizune? Hanako nods again. What about her? Don't they get along? Hanako shakes her head. Clearly this is something she doesn't want to talk about. It does make a strange sort of sense, Shizune and Lilly not getting along so well. Communication between the two would be all but impossible. It's hard enough talking to Shizune through Misha even when you can see whose hands are talking. Hanako is so focused on Shizune that I'm the first to notice Lilly at the door. Oh, she's here now. Hanako spins around to confirm this. Upon seeing Lilly, she moves quickly to the door. Lilly. Ah, Hanako. Good morning. Is the president here? Yes. Hanako glances over her shoulder at Shizune again, as if to confirm she can't hear them, even though that's impossible. I suppose we'd best be off then. Lilly's sigh and tone of what seems like frustration makes me raise an eyebrow. I guess there's some kind of enmity between the two. It's intriguing, but that's not really something I'd ask about. I'm sure if they wanted me to know, then they would tell me. It's only my third day here. I should be trying to make friends, not finding out why people are enemies. Still, it's a little funny to find out that this school has little feuds, just like my old high school. Even if people are more tolerant of others, they're still going to get on each other's nerves. Hey Lilly, how are things? I'm sorry I made you run off yesterday. Oh my, is that Hisao? I didn't realize you were here. It seems that Lilly is a little embarrassed about being so frank in front of me. Sorry, Lilly. I thought you realized. No, it's alright, Hanako. Hisao, please don't worry about yesterday. It was just a misunderstanding. If you say so. I'm still working this place out. Well then, I think you'll find most people here a lot more forgiving than elsewhere. If you're feeling a little confused, please don't be afraid to ask questions. Sure, I'll remember that. Lilly? Lilly gives a small nod of acknowledgement. I'm sorry, Hisao, but we must be off. Hanako really doesn't look all that comfortable here right now, and Lilly still seems a little embarrassed. Imagine maybe someone leaches it out. Oh boy. I don't know, Lilly doesn't seem like she'd be that rude about it. Like, maybe I just don't know Lilly well enough yet, but Lilly seems like the type, like, if she was, like, she'd have smart insults. Like, the kind of insults that could go over someone's head. You know those, like, what those, the ones that almost sound like a compliment if you don't realize what the person's actually saying. Well, he is a proper lady, but of course people will leave me. Yeah, no. Yeah, like, I just imagine, like, if Lilly was going to insult someone, it would be one of those ones where the person getting insulted would be like, thank you! Wait a moment! That kind of... I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I think you probably know the kind of that kind of insult I'm thinking of. I wonder if my apologies really made any impact. Mind if I accompany you two? I know I'm kind of pushing it, but Lilly hums quietly, still smiling. I'm sure that we could accommodate you, can't we, Hanako? She looks at Lilly, then at me, and then she freezes, wide-eyed. Sure. Well then, shall we go? I'm sure Lilly wouldn't do this so easily if she saw how scared Hanako looks, but it can't be helped now. Declining after the deal is sealed would only cause confusion and problems. So we leave, all three together. Lilly walks beside the wall, letting her cane gently tap against it every now and then. Hanako comes along right beside her, so close that she is practically half hugging her as they go. Although it makes her walking that much harder, Lilly takes it in stride. As we turn around the corner of the hallway, something hits me in the chest with the force of a steam train. Hanako shrieks a little and my vision briefly goes blank. Oh no, even here, Emmy is still causing problems. Ouch! Opening my eyes, I see a pair of saucer-like green eyes looking up at me. They belong to the perpetrator, a short girl who has bumped into me and has now fallen down on the hallway floor. I think one half insult comment. Mum character died her airborne. Yeah. So. Yeah, that one's a little more like a little more obvious than I was thinking of, but yeah, something along those lines. She wears a PE uniform and a very worried frown. The former strikes me as a rather strange thing to have on during a lunch break. More striking than that, though, is that she doesn't have legs. Because the daughter said it with sincerity. Oh, yeah, the tone of voice can always make a difference. Or, she does, but they are not flesh and bone. Her pale and very much flesh and bone thighs end in shins and feet made of some black metallic or plastic-like material. They look disturbingly artificial and unnatural. It almost makes me forget that my chest is hurting. The girl winces a little, rubs her nose, and jumps up. Oh man, hey, are you alright? I'm sorry about that, really. I wasn't looking where I was going and you just came out of nowhere. Sorry. She's looking really apologetic, in the hurt puppy way of looking apologetic. I quickly forget about being angry or anything since hurt puppies are my weak spot. I get it. That's one thing Hisao I don't think is particularly special. I'd be nervous of someone who didn't have a weak spot for hurt puppies. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Oh. I say that, but there's a stinging pain growing in my chest, and I know that this is about the biggest possible danger for my condition. Don't overexert yourself. Don't forget your medication. And most of all, don't get hit in the chest. I try to rub my solar plexus to chase the pain away, holding my breath in an attempt to hear my heartbeat. It seems normal. Hey, should I get a nurse? The worried, high-pitched voice of the girl snaps me out of it. I stare at her for a few seconds dumbfounded, until I realize that I probably looked worse off than I really was, doubled over myself and looking all tense. Damn. I'm overly worried about my heart. No need. I'm fine. Managing to say something in response, I pull myself upright, feeling my sore ribs one last time and take a deep breath. She just knocked the wind out of me, big time. But it's nothing more than that. Even if you are fully healthy, getting the wind knocked out of you is... No, I remember when I used to practice karate, I was grappling or sparring, I can't remember exactly, and I had someone trip me, actively trying, that was what they were going for. But I really failed at any kind of recovery and just went from standing straight to completely on my flat on my back. I think that was my first experience of properly getting winded. You sure you're okay? I hit you pretty hard. It's okay. I said I was fine and nothing's broken. No harm done. That's good. I was... Hisao? What happened? She's not quite up to speed for obvious reasons, but she sounds very worried. More than what the situation deserves, really. Someone just bumped into me. Nothing serious, just winded. Oh, sorry. It's my fault. I was just going to get some stuff and I was kind of in a hurry. That someone here is Emmy, isn't it? The little girl coughs quietly and shuffles her plastic or metallic feet, looking down at them before saying anything. Hi, Lilly. Hanako. I guess the girls know each other. Do please try to be more careful. You might be sturdy enough to endure these sorts of accidents, but there are people who aren't. The girl blushes and starts to fidget nervously, like a little child caught misbehaving. It's so cute I find myself smiling. I know, Dad. I was just... I gotta go. Teacher will have my head. I promised to help with printouts, but I went running instead, so... Sorry, but I've got to change and everything. Before any of us can say a thing, Emmy has already bolted away, leaving the hallway eerily quiet. Does that kind of thing happen often around here? There are more rules in Yamaku than usual for running in corridors. But that rarely stops Emmy, it seems. She shakes her head weakly and offers a slight, composed smile. I don't think there's anything we can do to stop her, I'm afraid. Shall we off then? Had a dog run into you from behind, knocking you on your back? Some roughhousing boys in a bounce castle fell. Oh. Yeah. It's one of those things, like, it's so... You don't necessarily think it's that bad until it happens to you and you realize, like, just... how, like, it does take you a wee while to recover. I think the only other time I've been winded was, when, a couple of winters ago when it was quite icy. I was walking down, the drive at my grand's house. Minnie, how much it hurts. Yeah. So I was just walking down the path to, I can't remember if I was going down to my mum's house or going down to, like, bring the bin up from the road. But I just slipped on the ice again, flat on my back. Oh yeah, I told you the story. Yeah. So it's still when the post van came up and he like paused, like, "Do you need a hand, sir?" I'm just like, "No, you good. Just need to lie down for a moment, catch my breath." No, ice is pretty scary sometimes. No, especially on hills. Lilly heads off along the hallway, and Hanako hurries after her. The route to the room the two use for tea is fairly simple to retrace, being still fresh in my mind from yesterday. Lilly and Hanako quickly go about the business of making lunch. Before I can even open my small bag of food, Lily's busying herself with her thermos and tea bags as Hanako is setting out both their lunchboxes. So, is this what you meant by coming here almost every day? Yes. Hanako and I usually have lunch here. It suits both of us, so we ended up using this room regularly. After seeing Hanako's reactions to me over the past couple of days, I can understand why that is a boon. That and Lilly being able to get some quiet away from her class as well. I take my seat last, after Lily's poured the tea for us and sits down. The more time I spend with these two girls, the more I think they're a perfect foil to Misha and Shizune. Even without a voice, Shizune is direct and brash, and Misha seems to get along with everyone. On the other hand, Lilly is soft-spoken and relaxed, while Hanako seems to be the shyest girl I've ever met. So, how are you faring in Yamaku, Hisao? You seemed a bit flustered before. Apart from getting lost every now and again and being crash-tackled outside my classroom, fine, I guess. You looked pretty hurt before. Are you really okay? For a brief moment, I considered telling Hanako and Lilly about my condition, but then I hold it back. I can't tell why, but for some reason I feel uncomfortable talking about it to these relative strangers, even if they have been pretty friendly. Yeah, it's nothing. I was just a bit startled. Judging from the two girls' expressions, I don't think they're buying it. But in what I assume is their way of respecting my privacy, they don't press the matter. I guess that is one of the unwritten rules around here. Don't ask. Even if people's conditions are obvious, like Hanako's, there's still bound to be a story involved. Everyone has things that they don't feel comfortable speaking about, and I think everyone here recognizes that. So, how long have you been in this school? You both seem to know your way around pretty well. Well, I've been here since the start of high school, but only moved into the dormitories a year ago. Hanako joined at the start of high school as well, and moved to the dormitories when she did, if memory serves me right. That's right. Since high school. So, you've known each other since then? Since I moved, yes. Hanako lives next door to me, so it's only natural, right? Right. So something I've kind of wondered that I can't recall enough dialogue to know if this is already kind of like, this is already something that has been brought up in one of the previous routes. But I suppose like it could, the possibility that Lilly doesn't know anything about like what's happened to Hanako, because obviously she can't, even though it's a visually obvious problem, that means nothing to Hanako. It means nothing to Lilly. I get either way why it's still like Hanako might be drawn to being friends with Lilly, because even if she does know that she's scarred like that, she can never have like a visual reaction to it. Because obviously someone who can't see isn't going to be making judgments off of what someone looks like. But I can also, like, there's a part of me that's also could kind of understand if Hanako was not saying anything about it. But I suppose maybe it would be hard to hide with other people being around. She obviously isn't. Yeah. Well, it was just a kind of like the brief curiosity if Hanako had ever kind of just thought not even to tell Lilly, because that, I suppose like for Hisao, someone would only know about his condition if he tells them about it. Like he could pretend, and like it would be easy enough for him to have people treat him as if he wasn't disabled. Whereas Hanako, like, there's no way for her to hide it. Like, similar to Emi and Rin. Where someone who's blind, someone who can't see her, is someone who are the only people who Hanako could interact with. And with them, and knowing that they treat her as if she wasn't disabled. Living next to someone is probably reason enough to befriend him, though I'm guessing that Lilly's blindness played a part in it as well. I can't imagine Hanako easily making friends with someone who has to deliberately avoid looking at her scars. With the immediate conversation dried up, we start to eat our lunch. It isn't. You adore Hanako's character in Lily's route? What, is that to imply you don't adore her in her own route? Or I suppose, yeah. You'd mentioned, like, even like Hisao can be different in different routes because they're written by different people. So I wonder, does that then apply, I wonder if that applies to, like, the other characters? Like, is each route kind of, does it have their own, like, take on the their own spin on the character? It isn't long before the bells are signaling the end of the break. Like me, the girls pack up their lunches as efficiently as they set them out. I guess I'd better be off. Are you going to go with Hisao, Hanako? Hanako looks up at me, and for a second I can see that she is considering skipping class. Maybe just to avoid walking to the classroom with me. I mean, I'm not surprised with like that kind of side eye you're giving her, Hisao. Like that slight frown and the side eye kind of makes it look like... The girls are definitely a little different when they're not the focus of Hisao. Yeah. Yeah, like I did... Yeah, like it wasn't significant, but Emmy felt a little different in the few encounters we had with her. In Rin's route. Like, I felt especially during the studio, like, I felt Emmy would be more on Rin's side. From what we saw of her in her own route. Like, they just seemed like better friends than kind of her going... Like, seeing her friend collapse. That she'd be more... I know. I just assumed she'd be a bit more sympathetic. Yes. I don't know what to think of it. Hanako really is delicate to the point of breaking if looked at in... Oh. Hanako really is delicate to the point of breaking if looked at in the wrong way. It makes me a bit nervous too, but I push the feeling aside, trying to be as natural as I can. We should hurry then. Class has already started by the sound of it. Lily gives a nod of farewell as she bends down to take her cane. Hanako and I filing out before her. We walk quickly down the empty halls to our respective classes. As we reach the door to Lily's Free 2 classroom, she turns towards me. Hisao, thank you for sharing lunch with us today. My pleasure, Lily. And with that, we part ways. Lily entering her classroom and leaving Hanako and me to make off to our own. She's still looking like she wants to run away. So, do you really want to go back to class now? Yes. Okay then. I feel like I should say something more to her, but it's hard to come up with anything that would be appropriate and safe enough. And Lily was right. The more time we spend out here, the more explaining we have to do. I open the rear door to the class and walk in. The teacher looks up at me and opens his mouth to say something. However, as Hanako follows me in and closes the door, he simply nods to us and continues his lecture. This is the third time that Hanako has had her truancy practically ignored. There's definitely something going on here. We make our way to our seats, and I notice that Misha and Shizune are both missing as well. I wonder if it is some form of informal agreement with the staff, or if it's a perk afforded to the unique students of this school. Trying to make as little disturbance as I can, I extract the relevant textbooks from my bag and start catching up. The class goes on quietly. The teacher seems like an okay person, despite the weird first impression I got, and the material is relatively interesting. However, the way he teaches is really bizarre. It's as if he expects that everyone is a natural genius. When the final bell sounds, I realize that there's still a lot of time left in the day, and I'm left wondering what to do. Is this... Okay, yeah, we're back to... Okay. So don't forget, we're still in the prologue. I'm going to have seen quite a bit of this, I imagine. You promise to be more serious about this from now. I think... Yes, yeah, because I think this is when you had joined in before, wasn't it? So I think I should be good on the route from at this point. Unless a new choice comes up. Okay, so this is definitely siding with Lilly. So I'm going to just override a save. Why not? Oh. No, I didn't want to turn on skip mode. I wanted to text history. Okay, so this is already changing. I turn my back at them. Lilly, class is going to be starting soon, so we can talk more later. I'll tell Hanako you were looking for her. I can feel Shizune freezing. Maybe this is the first time she's ever been ignored in such a blunt manner. Okay, so we're just... Okay, so I suppose that, yeah, now that we've had, like, that extra time with Lilly and Hanako, it's less of a, just kind of a... We're not kind of siding with Lilly just because it's, like, the right thing to do, but kind of because... I don't know. I don't know if we... I don't think Hisao would use, like, call them friends yet, but they're still kind of... They get along well. Thank you, Hisao. I'll leave now, then. She gives me the sweetest smile I've seen all week and turns on her heels to make her exit. As soon as Lilly walks out the door, I suddenly start feeling reluctant about turning to face Shizune. I can feel her eyes burning into my back and can't bring myself to look at her. She must be furious. I keep expecting Misha to say something to alleviate the tension, but it really is wanting too much. In the end, I go back to my seat and listen to the sound of Shizune's footsteps as she marches out of the room. She doesn't return until a few minutes before class. Ooh boy. Okay, so this is... Oh. You need to find her? She was looking for you in the morning, but I guess you've missed each other. She waits a little without answering the simple question, looking awfully like she's not sure if it's proper to answer such a question. Yeah. I can come with you, if it's okay. Hanako nods fractionally, still on guard, her shoulders stiff like wood. I get the feeling she might be more comfortable by herself after all, but it's too late to back off now. She has this really troubled expression that she seems to wear almost constantly, one that makes me constantly be on guard myself. I wonder why. I kind of understand why she always seems to be so wary, or maybe more like... What? I don't understand what... Or maybe more like why there could be a person like her. But I still have no idea how I should act around such a person. It's dinner time soon. Were you planning to eat with Lilly? She nods slightly. So she must have been trying to get into the cafeteria. Well, there's something of a dinner crowd, just like the cafeteria is crowded during lunch. It's not as bad because dinner time is longer than lunch hour, but I can understand why Hanako could be discouraged from going in. I pick up my bag and we take our leave. Hanako skips a little to meet my initial pace, so I slow down to match her speed. It doesn't take long for us to be walking at a comfortable pace down the hallway. It almost feels like we're going for a stroll together. Something that I can't say I've really done before for a girl. Hanako doesn't seem to be thinking the same thing, though. Even though we're walking at the same pace, she never comes within arm's reach of me. I guess she's still a little uncomfortable around me. Given how shy she is, there doesn't seem to be much helping it. At least for now. By the time we arrive at the cafeteria, there's not much of a crowd there, but Lilly is nowhere to be seen. Hanako's head sinks even lower than usual. Have you looked somewhere else already? Just at the library. I was reading. So maybe their little classroom or the roof? Because Lilly had said something about the roof in Emmy's route, I think. So she does spend the classes she skips at the library. Ah, so not exactly a first search then. Well, if I had to guess, she'd be in her own class like Shizune said, right? Right. With the slightest of nods, Hanako agrees with my reasoning. God, she's been so awkward. It's like I need double-layered silk gloves with padding to even begin interacting with her. Okay, so a thought just occurred to me and I don't like it. Like, part of me had kind of assumed that like Hanako's burns like come from like a fire. And I'm still assuming like it is from fire, but my thought before had been that it was, you know, like the house caught fire and she got trapped or something and wasn't able to escape. At least not before being injured like that. But now the thought just occurred to me of, is that something someone did to her? Not wrong that it involves fire. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to think of like other like ways that scars like that could be caused. I suppose yeah, it's either fire or acid burns. I think electrical scarring looks kind of unique. Some small talk might help her become a bit more used to me. It isn't hard to tell that the silence between us is hovering on the edge of both our minds. So, you and Lilly usually hang out together after class, right? Yes. I'm not quite sure what I expected from her answer, nor why I even asked the question. That much was rather obvious after all. She doesn't seem like the type to cultivate a social circle either, so I suspect that Lilly may well be her only friend. Must be a pain being in different classes, I'm guessing. She gives a sharp, almost reflexive nod. Compared to Lily's careful thought about her actions and speech, Hanako hastens to make her answers as prompt and short as possible. Lilly comes by the classroom, though, even when she's busy. She gives a small smile as she says it, evidently appreciating the fact that Lilly goes out of her way to help her. It's pretty cute, really. There isn't any need to say more. Both of us content that the discussion's reached an end. As we ascend the stairs back to the lobby, we are met by a group of students heading downstairs like a school of fish moving from one feeding area to another. They seem to be keeping mostly to themselves, but before I can notice her doing so, Hanako has moved around behind me. Hey, are you alright? Just keep going. The students pass us without much as a second glance, and Hanako takes up her position to my side again as we enter the building. Her momentary reprieve from her anxiety all but snatched away. Even as we climb towards the third floor, she doesn't seem to relax. It isn't as if I've never known a shy person before, or even shy girls, but Hanako seems to be pretty far beyond what I'd call normal in her fear of other people. If it weren't for Lilly acting as a mediator, I doubt Hanako would have even been able to walk beside me like this. She seems to completely shut down in the presence of others. The rest of the walk up to Lily's classroom continues in strained silence, while I rue her inability to socialize at all. After we make our way up the stairs, the noise coming from Lily's classroom is audible from halfway down the hallway. I wasn't expecting such a din at all. Oh boy. It's Shizune there. Or is it just the class is doing something for their festival that is noisy? Well, I guess we found her. This wasn't hard. Did Hanako come here first and come to me for backup, I wonder? Socializing goes both. That is a point, yeah. But while we learned in Rinsroot, he's not great at the whole, like, understanding things go both ways. Even when Rin was, like, telling him straight up. Well, if that's true, then at least she's starting to trust me a little. That can only be a good thing. Eventually, the two of us reached the door to Class 3-2. With Hanako less than subtly positioning herself behind me, I opened the door. Inside is a hive of activity, seemingly every student in the class talking at once as they work hurriedly on their separate tasks. Going by the paint cans, decorations, and banners being made, it must be for the upcoming school festival. I guess my first priority should be finding Lilly. There. Finding her among the din is surprisingly easy, not the least because of her looks. With a couple of students gathered around her as she stands at the front of the class, she seems to be in charge of the preparations, or at least busy organizing them. Carefully negotiating a path through the various students hunched over the floor for lack of desk space, I raise a hand entirely out of habit as we finally reach Lilly. Hi, Lilly. She perks her head up as she breaks off talking to a noticeably smaller girl who must be her classmate, trying to listen as best she can. Sorry, who? Sorry, Hisao. I have Hanako too. Hi. She's pretty skittish. Considering the number of people around, it isn't too hard to work out why. Lilly takes a moment's pause to assess the situation before turning to the other student once again. For the moment, just ask Moria for his advice. Kenji's busy with painting one of the banners already. A quick nod and she bounces off, fingers carefully sliding along the wall's face for orientation. Wait, Kenji? That Kenji? I quickly turn about, leaning to the side to see past Hanako. Sure enough, in a corner of the room, Kenji is hunched over a sheet of cloth as he paints it. His eyes remain only inches from the brush, reminding me of how close he had to be to make up my face when I met him. The first time we see Kenji, like... Well, except in his own room, but... we see him actually, like, in school. Sorry about that. Our class doesn't have many students with even partial eyesight, so they're in high demand. Okay, so they have all the... I suppose it makes sense to kind of try and put students with similar disabilities in the same class. That's right. Class 3-2 was specially for students with poor vision. Preparing for the festival must be pretty arduous for them. Need a hand? I could give you help if you need some. Maybe Hanako could too. Careful about volunteering someone who's shy like that, Hisao. A chance to set her mind on something would do her good, but I doubt she has the courage to ask outright. She quickly nods an affirmation afterwards, so I'm confident I made the right move. At least it worked out. Lilly gives a noticeable sigh of relief. That's good. This might actually get finished before everyone goes off to dinner now. Would you be able to help the person painting the main banner? It's a big task for him to do, but nobody else can help. Kenji? Sure. She seems surprised I know him. I can't really blame her. I take it you've met? Our rooms in the dorm are right next to each other. Hard to miss each other, really. Well, it's good to see you're getting friends so fast. Friend. I wonder if that's the right word to use for him. Hanako's silence during the proceedings reminds me of the reason I put her up to helping in the first place. I didn't... Hisao, why? You know how Kenji is. Why would you bring a girl along to help? Especially Hanako. I feel Hanako would be... Yeah, I don't feel... Kenji's attitude would be helpful for Hanako to be around. We'll go help him then. He knows what needs doing, right? That's right. Just ask if you have any problems. Maybe he'll actually behave like... Maybe? Maybe he knows how to mask. To infiltrate the conspiracy. Chorusing an assent, Hanako and I begin another trek across the classroom. Kenji sits crouched on the floor, his gaze fixed on the white calico in front of him. Hey, Kenji. No answer. He continues dragging his paint-soaked brush along the large, half-painted kanji that's sketched on the sheet in pencil. Kenji? Huh? What? Who is it? If this is the way he treats class members, it's no small wonder he's working on this alone. It's me, Hisao from the... Right, I know that, man. What are you doing here, though? His dismissive attitude annoys me. He must be the type to really get focused on his work, hating to be disturbed by anyone until he's done, I suppose. While we talk, the sound of Hanako's footsteps as she walks out from behind me reminds me that she's here. I was just going to help with the banner. Hanako and I, that is. Hello. Oh, hey. I guess that's okay. As soon as Hanako enters the equation, his demeanor takes a complete about-face. His sudden faux hospitality is slightly unsettling. Oh, right. Woman. On second thoughts, this may not have been a great idea after all. Hanako and I grudgingly set ourselves down on the opposite side of the cloth banner to Kenji, noting several small paint tins on the ground around it. Class free to noodle stall? I wonder if this is this the class that made the noodles Hisao had in Kenji's route? Because I just... Oh. You guys selling noodles at the festival on Sunday? Yeah, some stalls outside or something. Or something? His non-committal nature sparks a fair amount of suspicion on my behalf. The task at hand comes first, though. So, how do you want to split this? We do borders while you do the text, or do you want to switch and do the borders? Text is mine. You do borders. He has surprisingly strong feelings on the topic. As I reach over to grab a brush, I notice Hanako's already debating between colours to use. By the time I've put brush to cloth, she's already started on a delicate pattern. Looks like my idea of taking her mind off everyone around her worked. With a dark blue stroke, the three of us silently get to work. Not before Kenji takes advantage of Hanako's working to lean towards me and whisper conspiratorially, though. Okay, man. Why are you here? Hanako just wanted some help to find Lilly. That's all. He apparently disapproves of my motivations. Of course he would. I get it. Looks like I misjudged you. You're infiltrating them, aren't you? Going deep undercover? I should have guessed. Letting the truth slip by him would probably be better than outright lying or annoying him in any case. Is that why you're here? Obviously. It sucks, but there's no better way to get intel than going in yourself. You gotta stick together, man. This is a harsh school. A harsh world. Yes, very harsh. He misses my true meaning as he leans back, satisfied I'm sympathetic to his cause. I'd better get down to work. Finished. Looks like I am too. Good job. The two of us connect up the lines of our patterns, mine being as close a copy as I could manage of hers. With a grunt, I lever myself up from the floor and look around. Aside from Hanako and myself, there's only Kenji left finishing off a sign, as well as Lilly and a couple of students talking among themselves in the classroom. Looking at my watch, it's no surprise. It's getting pretty late. Need a hand? I offer a hand to Hanako, which she uses to get herself up. As she does, I can't help but glance at her wrist. If her scars extend even to there, just how much of her body was burned. I feel a pang of guilt about it, however, as she quickly covers her wrist with her other hand. Looks good, doesn't it? She looks surprised for a moment before noticing that I mean the banner. It does, I guess. Her smile shows that she feels a slight sense of pride in the result, just as I do. He's done more work for another class's project than he has for his own. With the floor significantly neater for the decorations being placed on desks and shelves, it's much easier to get to Lilly as we cross the room. We've finished the banner. I guess that's all that needs to be done? Lilly gives an appreciative nod. Thank you, Hisao, Hanako. If there's any way I can thank you, it's fine. Beats sitting in my room studying at any rate. I don't mind either. She nods, before suddenly remembering one last person. Oh, is Kenji still here? Just as I open my mouth, Kenji gives the answer from the other side of the room. Yeah, just finished. He carefully slides his sign onto an empty section of shelf to dry, before quickly walking past us and out the door. Not anymore. See ya, man. Bye. The remaining two students say their goodbyes to Lilly before taking their cue to leave as well, leaving only the three of us. Well, I guess that's everyone. I hope we don't have to do anything like that again. Working past school time? Indeed. The class's plans this year were ambitious. Maybe too ambitious. The stalls look nice, though. She's right. It shows that a lot of work's gone into them. Oh, my. I'm sure a lot of us would be glad to hear that. At least now there's not much work to do until the festival itself. It's getting pretty late. Should we go? That's probably a good idea. Are you going back to the dorms as well, Hisao? Yeah, I guess I'll tag along. The nighttime lighting really makes the gardens look quite different. Compared to the usual look of lush greenery, things are much more calm. Being that it's so late, the lack of students around probably helps. The odd one or two can be seen scurrying to and fro from the dorms, trying to eke the most out of their approaching curfews, but no more. All that can be heard is our footsteps, in addition to Lilly's cane regularly gently tapping the ground in front of her. It's nice to finally be able to relax a bit after the mad rush during school. Without even noticing it, I let out a small yawn. Tired? Yeah, still getting used to the flow of things, I guess. The, thing with Shizune took me kind of off guard, though. I grit my teeth a little at the candid mention of their rather public spat. That said, I do want to sort out what in the world was behind it. About that. I'm sorry about it being so public. Shizune and I go back some ways. Her voice seems slightly irritated as she remembers Shizune, obviously unwilling to discuss it any further. I glance to Hanako for her views on this, but her expression is, unsurprisingly, evasive and difficult to read. Either way, I guess her apologizing for it is something, even if my curiosity goes unanswered. I'll be glad once the festival is over in any case. The change of topic's welcome, clearing the thickening air quickly. I can imagine. My old school's festivals were a lot more low-key than this. Yamaku stresses the idea of a school community, so the staff likes to make our festivals and such special occasions. And yet the students are the ones who do the work. What an unfair world. Hanako and Lilly both chuckle in agreement, savouring the fact that none of the staff are around to hear our grumbling. I suppose coming from a strict all-girls school helped me a bit with Yamaku. Compared to there, Yamaku is much more relaxed. Why does that not... That doesn't surprise me too much that Lily's come from a strict all-girls school. So, like, it kind of just, the way she behaves kind of was like, that makes even more sense, like, it makes even more sense now. That'll go a way towards explaining her well-bred speech and behavior in any case. As we come up to the dormitories, it eventually comes time to leave for our respective rooms. See you, Lily. Hanako. The two both give polite nods before setting off to the women's dorms, just next to the guys. Catholic? Like, Catholic as in, like, she actively, like, she's an active believer, or just that that's kind of like her upbringing? As is to be expected of such an arrangement, there is a staff member casually patrolling around outside to prevent any nighttime shenanigans. Walking past him, I quickly stretch my arms and rub my neck. I'm both quite sore after having worked on the floor for so long, before walking to my room. It feels good to actually have direction, though. After so long in the hospital, the everyday facts of studying, homework, and teachers seem almost a blessing. She's still active, but definitely right. Okay. It's just kind of a... Like, whenever people, like, say that, like, when... I feel like can be quite a distinction between being raised in a religion and being, like, actually part of it. And that all girls goes Catholic too. Yeah, that also doesn't... Yeah, that also doesn't surprise me too much. At least, because at least with the way it's portrayed in animes, a lot of them do seem to have... And even in real life, like, mostly when I hear about all-girls schools, they tend to have some connection to the Catholic Church. But to be fair, it's not... I can't say I've looked all that deeply into all-girls schools. Yeah, I just know, at least, like, living here in Northern Ireland, like, the majority of the population will, like, refer to themselves as either Protestant or Catholic. But when you actually look at, like, surveys that, like, survey, like, what people actually believe, like, the people who actually believe is a lot less. So it's one of those things I always like clarification on, like, do you mean when you say you're Christian, do you mean this culturally or, like, religiously? Because there's a distinction there. I think it was even Richard Dawkins has referred to himself before as, like, a cultural Christian. Even though, like, he's an unashamed atheist. I guess if things continue like this, my time at Yamaku might turn out okay. Adhering to the nurse's nagging voice in the back of my head, I set my alarm clock to wake me up early enough to go jogging again. I made a promise and I'm going to keep it. Besides, Emmy is bound to rat on me if I don't show up. But it's not all that bad. Oh, and is Hisao going to, like, keep up the morning jogging? I was kind of disappointed in Rinsroot that he, like, just gave up on it entirely. My morning alarm goes off and I flail about uselessly for a while until I remember that I'd decided to give morning runs another shot. I don't know if this was my greatest idea, but I'm determined to keep going. This is about my health after all. Sure, things haven't been great lately for me, but that hasn't made existence so intolerable that I'm not going to try everything I can to stay healthy. Besides, it's all about asserting some kind of control over this thing, right? Okay, so yeah, this is... Oh no, I haven't made that choice yet. I'm guessing it's take it easy? I don't know. It'd still be nice if there was, like, an option for, like, Hisao to, like, keep up the morning jogs. Like, he doesn't have to, like, go all out in it. Right, take it easy. I let Emmy go with her own pace, and she doesn't yeah, this'll all be stuff I've seen before, isn't it? Hi, Rin. Okay, so we still got the meeting here. Okay, so... yeah, this is... sorry, I'm not in very good condition, isn't it? But I'll still put a save down here. It's alright. I just need to catch my breath. My condition isn't the best these days. Oh. Is it something that is related to you being transferred here? I mean... She cuts herself off rather abruptly, maybe realizing she was being a bit intrusive. Her instincts are sharp though, and while I don't like the subject, it's not like I should lie about it. If it's Lilly, I don't think I mind. I'm just a little weak for the time being. Hanako said you look fairly healthy, so I naturally thought... I wonder, like, is there going to be any, like, different dialogue because we've spent more time together? Or can I skip again? Lilly doesn't finish her sentence again, letting it trail off with a measure of concern. As she furrows her brow, Lily's uncomfortable expression spurs me to say at least something to ease her feelings. It's surprising she's this flustered, considering her straightforward attitude with her own blindness. She must know that not all share her own comfort about such things. No, it's okay. I have a pretty, I guess the best way to put it would be messed up heart. Arrhythmia. I had a bad heart attack a while ago because of it and spent most of the spring in hospital. Okay, I suppose, yeah. It's just sometimes, like, when it stops mid-conversation to introduce new dialogue, I'm kind of lost. Oh. Never mind. Yeah, there we go. Okay. To my surprise, in a moment's time, her face shows that she comes to some sort of realization. Okay, yeah, so she remembers that... Wait, so the time when Emmy and you collided in the hallway? I grimace slightly. Her ability to connect the dots quite so fast is unexpected. Yeah, I guess I'm a textbook example of why those rules about running in the corridors exist. That was a lot more dry than I'd intended. Lilly visibly shies away from continuing the topic. While I do want to assuage her concern, I really don't want to dwell on this either. Don't worry about it. I try to offer a reassuring smile, but then I realized the futility. Without knowing this, Lilly smiles at me reassuringly, but doesn't say anything further. Okay. Okay, so it was just that one little bit of extra. Nope. So this is... Okay, so yeah, Lilly showed up and then left. Okay. But why would Lilly leave her to her own devices? It seems to be quite out of the ordinary. I'm going by Hanako's reaction. That's right. I think Lilly mentioned something about going into town today before Rin bumped into us. The thought of that walk makes me look outside. The bright sun and occasional people wandering around and enjoying the afternoon makes me yearn to get out of school, or at least do something other than sit here. Giving in to one of my worst vices, procrastination, I decide that history is a subject best studied on a Sunday, or a Monday, or on any day other than this one. I give a grunt as I lever myself out of my seat, briefly debating with myself whether or not to hang out with Kenji. He doesn't strike me as the enjoying the nice weather outside of others kind of person, really. I guess I'll catch up with him later. Changing tacks, I briefly entertained the idea of talking with Hanako, but by the time I look at her seat, it's vacant. She must have left for the library. There's got to be something I can do to kill the time. Okay. I feel this choice is obvious. It's either go to where Lilly is or go to where Hanako is. So give me a moment, I just need to get a tissue. My nose is getting itchy. Alrighty, that should be better. So I'm going to guess I go for a walk into town. Because, yeah, my assumption would be that at this point, with the decisions I've made, this is a, like, deciding point between Hanako and Lilly. My brain is now, like, my brain did a little bit of overthinking, and now it's kind of... No, I don't think Lilly would ever, like, put the obligation on you to, like, keep Hanako company. So yeah, I'm gonna go for a walk into town. Following Hanako to the library seems a bit intrusive, and there was a reason she left the classroom after all. And that aside, I do want to catch up with Lilly. At the very least, I'd like to thank her for looking out for me, despite her other obviously taxing duties. I guess I'll walk around town. With any luck, I should be able to find Lilly. The exercise will do me some good as well. Walking through the school courtyard to the gate, I give a small nod to a couple of passing classmates, the gesture being returned in kind. Even from here, the shouts of the sports club members can be heard. From the sheer volume of the din, the track must be packed right now. I remember what Lilly said yesterday about being dropped right into the middle of a busy time for the school. While I'm trying to get my bearings and catch up on study that I've missed, everyone else is doing normal school activities. The feeling of being a foreigner still hasn't dissipated, at least not yet. I guess not everything's bad. This is a private school, and that much is easily noticed when walking around outside. Not only are the school grounds huge, but the buildings themselves are immaculate and quite divorced from the dime a dozen concrete blocks of public schools. There's also the fact that there's a much stronger feeling of community here, or at least a friendlier atmosphere. At my old school, it was generally accepted that people would keep to their little clique and be done with it. Eventually, I reach the gate and begin to walk down the road and into town. Well, that was fairly productive. Having seen a fair portion of town, even including the houses perched on the hills around the outskirts, I decide to take a walk around the park before heading back. Living in the city all my life, the total lack of smartly dressed businessmen and fashionably dressed girls strikes me as incredibly unusual. All that's to be seen are the odd elderly person shuffling along the sidewalk and assorted, busily chatting pairs of middle-aged women outside of small storefronts. I have to say, I am kind of on the side of like the small towns over big cities. I loved where I was when I was staying in Hirosaki in Japan. It was only a couple of weeks, but it was just such a nice place to stay. Walking along the road to the park quickly distracts me from them, though, making me realize that I perhaps pushed myself further than I should have done to see as much as I could. As my breath begins to wheeze and my chest tightens more and more, I give up on the prospect of soldiering on. After a quick glance around the park as I enter, I take a seat on a wobbly old bench that I notice near a couple of vending machines. For minutes on end, I sit with my head bent over, forcing myself to take deep breaths. I feel more like an old man than a teenager who should be in the prime of his life. The stay in hospital, the surgery, and the medications must be taking their toll on me. Damn it. Eventually, my breathing returns to normal and the muscles in my chest loosen, not without a fair measure of relief. I guess this means the end of my little sojourn, though, in any case. Oh, are we heading to Shanghai already? I think this is the first time it's happened, like, in the prologue. There's a cafe on the far corner, so I'll stop by to quench my thirst before heading back. A little bell above the door signals my arrival to an empty counter. For a few moments... I think this is also the first time we've come to Shanghai alone. For a few moments I stand there waiting, my eyes every now and again drifting from one end of the counter to the other, searching for a service bell. Eventually a door some ways behind the counter opens, the person emerging from it taking me by complete surprise. Hugo? Hi, I had no idea you worked here. I really have no idea how to address her either, given that she is technically school staff as well as, apparently, a waitress. Yes, She quickly paces up to the counter before flinging her upper half downwards in an overacted bow. Welcome to the Shanghai. May I take your order? Straight down to business, I see. I don't know. Well, some coffee, please? Yes, certainly. I'll make it right away and bring it to you when it's done. Thanks. Yuko's formality takes me aback. She seems to take her job very seriously. Obeying her instructions, I turn around and quickly glance around for a free table. Considering the cafe seems to be empty, this is a simple task to accomplish. As I walk towards a table adjacent to the window, I notice a flash of yellow around one of the table dividers. Oh? Those are... red eyes? Sure enough, no more than a glance is needed to ascertain that it's a certain Sato at the table. That said, I don't recognize the suited figure across the table from her. Is that a brother, maybe? Like, the blonde hair, like, it looks like the same kind of... the same shade. Though obviously much straighter than Lily's. Blonde, fair-skinned, and only a little shorter. She? I think she must be a relative. Since the two are all but silent as the suited figure takes a swig from a cup of coffee, I decide to greet Lilly. Some part of my coming here was in order to meet her, after all. Hi, Lilly. Hisao? Yeah, nice to see you again. The suited girl looks up, noted my uniform with a relaxed smile. Know each other? I guess? It's as good an approximation of our relationship as I can think of. Care to take a seat? She says this to the air beside me, but the message is clear enough, and I take a seat beside her. I suppose some introductions might be in order. Hisao, this is Akira Sato, my older sister. Akira, this is Hisao Nakai, another Yamaku student. Older sister? I was expecting... It looked like... She looks younger. Or maybe I'm just basing it off of height. But I suppose, yeah, the soot... the soot, I suppose, would... It doesn't look like a teenager soot. Looks like my guess was correct. The newly introduced Akira gives a nod, which I return. What I don't return, however, is the almost analytical gaze with which she looks me over. As she does so, Yuko walks up to the table and carefully places the coffee on the table before bowing and taking her leave. Gently bringing my hand to the side of the cup, I realize that it's already at just the right temperature to drink. After taking a sip, the flavor turns out to be just as good as the temperature. Lily's big sister. The little big sister. Yuko seems a lot better at this than being a librarian. I take a good, long drink before relaxing into the seat. It takes mere seconds for Akira's examination to come to an end. Apparently becoming quickly bored with the activity, she turns to her sister. So, how's school recently? It seems Akira is entirely unconcerned with someone she doesn't know at all listening to everything they say. Not that I mind. Leaving them to their chatting, I sit back and continue drinking the pleasantly aromatic coffee. Sounds like it's pretty busy for you then. At least I'm not cooking your meals after school anymore. As they talk, I slowly realize that I'm entirely unable to gauge Lily's emotions through her eyes, as I would for any other person. It becomes slightly unsettling as I subconsciously focus on that fact. Oh, so cold. Weren't you just cooking for yourself anyway? I only ever got leftovers. That's not the point. Are you managing to feed yourself at least? I can cook without blowing myself up, you know. Mostly. That's... It's fine, it's fine. I needed to learn sometime anyway. Lily? Everyone present is momentarily distracted by Yugo, who places a cup of tea on the table for Lily. Oh, I suppose, yeah, like, Lily wouldn't be able to see Yugo approaching. Taking a moment to glance at her watch, Akira levers herself off her seat and gives me a quick nod. Well, I'd better be off. It was nice talking to you, Lily. Akira, do you have to... Lily looks genuinely mournful at her sister suddenly leaving. It does seem like she might have the wrong idea. Sorry, I need to get back to work. They'll be on my neck again if I don't make it back quickly. So informal. Akira's trim and tidy appearance would give anyone the wrong impression of her. Bye, Akira. Come on, don't look so down. I'll be around again soon. See us. With that, she waltzes out of Shanghai with her hand held high. Lily still looks pretty depressed, so I try to make some small talk in an effort to take her mind off it. She seems nice. We used to live together, but now that I live at school, we hardly ever see each other. Despite Lily having been quite affable, I still don't really know much about her. In hindsight, it's surprising just how much she's extracted from me, really. You used to live together? Was it somewhere around here? It was pretty far south, so the trip into Yamaku was fairly long. With her working hours getting longer and Yamaku being so far away, there was little choice in the end but to move into the dormitories. Well, that explains the chatter about cooking. Evidently regaining her composure, she livens back up, at least in part. I take it you're better rested now? Sorry? You sound less exhausted than you did when you first came in. To be able to pick up my breathing like that, she must have pretty good ears. Yeah, ended up walking all over town, despite only planning on taking a short walk down here. Reminded of my first from the walk, I leaned forward to take a sip. To be fair, if you're thirsty, isn't coffee like a bad thing to drink? Oh, my nose is itchy. Without further ado, Lily starts on a cup of strong-smelling tea. I guess I'd better be going. I guess I'd better get going back to Yamaku. There's only so long I can stall studying for, and I want to get a good night's sleep before the festival. Standing from my seat, I take the coffee-stained cup from the table. You're leaving? Yeah. You going to head back as well? It's getting kind of late. For a moment she pauses, before lifting her face over her teacup as if she was looking at me. Yugo, could we have one more coffee, please? Okay, I'll bring it right away. That's not subtle. She gives a short giggle at my frank assessment of her maneuver. It's surprisingly childish and carefree, given her otherwise collected appearance. In the end, though, I have little reason to refuse. To be honest, I can hardly say no, all things considered. Giving a manufactured sigh, I take a seat opposite her. Wanting company, then? I'd say that it's more that I was wondering... I see she's in questioning mode again. She does seem to be unusually interested in me, or at least curious. Do you have any siblings? Not exactly an unexpected tangent. No, only child. And to be honest, the idea of having someone that close makes me a bit envious. Interesting. I raise an eyebrow, which of course goes unseen. The short silence communicates the question well enough. It's just that others have said the same thing before. It's a difficult subject to try and think about objectively, given that I've always had someone like that. I can mostly understand what Lily means, given that it would be hard to place oneself outside of a situation they've been in all their life. She and her sister must have a pretty close relationship. Taking pains to interrupt us as little as possible, Yugo dutifully comes over and places a cup on the table. Lily thanks her as I sit back, taken in this vexing girl. I wouldn't say she's vexing. Despite always seeming to be on her guard and in control of herself when talking to others, she has an almost childlike curiosity about other people. That said, those rare moments she seems to slightly lower her guard are the most insightful into how she thinks. Reaching forward for my drink, I realized something I probably should have noticed earlier. I think I'm starting to become kind of curious about her. Nope. Despite making a good pace, it's already nightfall by the time I reach the large iron gates in front of the school. While it's nice to have plenty of time to wander around by virtue of living right next to the school, I can't help but get the feeling that few students actually take the opportunity. Compared to the number of students I see milling around on campus during free time, it's startlingly rare to see anyone around town. Given the large number of accommodations and facilities that the school offers, many of them might simply not see any point in venturing outside, let alone people such as Hanako and Kenji. Makes me wonder if students like Shizune, Misha, and Lilly are the exception for this school rather than the norm. As I wander back to my dorm room, I continue to compare my old school with Yamaku. As I do so, I begin to be surprised that I managed to get even this used to everything that's happened to me. Oh. Slow fade. The next day, I wake up feeling a little lightheaded. It's almost noon already. Sleeping late is fine since it's a Sunday and there are no classes. Not just a Sunday though, but the festival as well. From my window, I can already see some people. Is there? Okay, there is. Oh. I don't know. I'm pretty hungry, so I thought I'd get some food first and then check out the attractions. Your class project seemed pretty cool. And I gave a hand of it, so I want to see at least that one and chat with Lilly, I guess. Speaking of that, don't you have any obligation for the project? Are you out of your mind? That blind broad is up to no good. I can feel it in my spleen, man. Her presence is like a dark shadow that's in the way of my great vision. Alrighty, Kenji. As expected of blind people. Alrighty. What? Besides, I thought that you were also... He holds up his hand to interrupt me. Only legally. Metaphorically, I can see farther than any man before me has seen. Kenji looks stoically into the metaphorical distance to emphasize his statement, thrusting his chin forward to look manlier. Actually, it's just the corridor wall 2 meters away, but it's all the same. I can see the future of mankind, and it's a dark one unless the threat of women is stifled. They are everywhere. He fingers his scarf nervously, faster and faster, like he's trying to start a fire. This is... okay. Okay, so he's not a fan of Lilly. See, I'm kind of a little... One thing I was kind of hoping to see in Kenji's route, I wasn't expecting to just, like, get it this early on. But in Kenji's route, I was kind of hoping to, like... I was kind of hoping, like, Kenji's route would, like, almost actually be a route. Or at the very least, like, getting to see a little bit of his... Like, see him get some character development. Like, maybe help him, like, start on the process to overcoming this conspiracy. After buying a plastic plate of takoyaki from a stall belonging to the class next to ours, I take a seat in the school gardens and watch people pass as I tentatively nibble away at the rather bland-tasting item. I guess I shouldn't complain. It's better than nothing and didn't cost much. As I look out toward the school, watching the people coming and going proves a surprisingly entertaining way of passing the time as I eat. Little children accompanied by parents or grandparents scamper about in the din from event to event, one hand dragging their company and the other bearing an oversized, colourful snack. I can't help but notice the age range among the people here is skewed towards the elderly. Something that I'd also noticed when I was walking around town. This must be one of those towns where the only people left are those that lived here their whole lives and ardently refused to leave, and those wanting to live out the rest of their days in one of the increasingly few tranquil places. I guess that also goes away to explain how conservative Yamagu's school culture seems to be. Not that I mind one bit. I kind of like how calm Yamagu and its surroundings are. The heat, though, is another matter entirely. Sitting in one place for so long has focused my mind on how annoyingly humid it's getting, now that the hottest part of the day is here. I'd better get moving if I... Gah! The sound of the caroling bells takes me completely by surprise as I stand up, a reaction shared by a few of the people strolling around as well. The PA system crackles to life after the tolling bell's end, which age shows as the principal makes a barely intelligible announcement over it, officially opening the festival that's very much in full swing. It's quite amusing to contrast the pleasant smiles of the older folk against the alternatively pained and bored grimaces of their younger charges. The students, on the other hand, seem to pay it little heed. Nevertheless, as the address finally ends, all are united in polite, if not overly enthusiastic, applause, and then get back to business. Slipping a hand in my pocket to look as relaxed as possible, I casually glance around for something to do. It's somewhat difficult to see very far with all the people around. I decide to fall back on a tried and trusted rule. Go where everyone else seems to be gathering. Right now, that's the school courtyard and surroundings. Throwing the used plate into a trash can, I make my way towards the school building. Seeing the number of stalls around the perimeter of the school buildings surprises me. Quite a few of the classes must have opted to have multiple stalls. In deciding which to visit first, I catch sight of a familiar banner with a blue patterned border and red text. Lilly's stall is as good a place to start as any. I'm curious as to how it's going after all of the work she and her class have been doing for it. Stepping up to it, I begin to see why the class took so long to organize everything. Easily twice as wide as many of the other stalls, and with equipment for cooking strewn everywhere, it's closer to an outdoor restaurant than a festival event. As a student in front of me takes a bowl of noodles and leaves, I walk up to the counter. The girl behind it seems quite exasperated and asks me to wait a moment before she disappears underneath the counter. Seizing the moment, I take a quick glance around. Steam seems to be rising from everywhere, as pots and pans simmer away. The most blind of the students are unpacking ingredients while being helped by someone who is probably the teacher of 3-2. It doesn't take long to notice Lilly among them. Talking with the teacher, she quickly counts out the boxes and packets with her fingers. From her expression and the fact that both she and the teacher seem to be in a state of mild confusion, it appears there's been some problem in coordination. Before I can stare any longer, the girl behind the counter pops up again, only to look back and ask where the spare change box is. Lilly pauses for a moment before she and the girl switch places at the counter, and the teacher quickly walks off somewhere. Sorry about that. We're having a few problems. What would you like? It takes me a second to remember what I'd come here for. My eyes quickly dart to the side to read the menu sitting on the counter. Oh, I guess some miso soup? Is that Hisao? Yep. Looks like you're pretty busy. Her face all but confirms it as she drops her waitress facade. Somewhere along the line our order got mixed up. We're trying to fix it now, but it looks like we only have half of what we needed. Wouldn't serving smaller portions cover over the problem? It seems like that's what we'll have to do, though I wish we didn't. The fact that a good half of our class is gone doesn't help either. I glance behind her to see how many people are actually operating the stall. It couldn't be over about 8. I take it that's why your teacher left? That's right. She's going to try and round up a few more of our classmates to help. Hearing the sound of footsteps behind me, I stealthily glance backwards to see an elderly couple taking a place in line. I guess I'd better stop loitering around and chatting. Here's the money for the soup. Soup? Oh, right. Coming right up. Lilly turns and calls for a bowl of miso soup as I hand over the money for it. Taking the coins in her palm, I can't help but notice how efficiently she counts them out with her long, pale fingers. Eventually satisfied that I've handed over correct change, she puts it into a small metal tray. Oh. So that's one of the other little... I know there's a couple of things that kind of, like, reveal that the team who made this, like, aren't... I have limited understanding of culture in Japan. Because from what I've always understood, like, whenever I've been in Japan, like, handing over cash, you don't hand over cash into someone's hand. You set it down into, like, there'll be a cash tray at checkouts. And imagine that would possibly be easier for people struggling with sight as well. That rather than kind of making sure they're, like, catching any money in their hands okay, that they know where the tray is, they know the money goes in that tray, and they just take that. Thanks. I'll come back to drop off the bowl. Thank you, Hisao. Oh, there is one other thing. Have you seen Hanako? Hanako? No, not today. Why? She gives a small sigh of abject disappointment. It's okay. I was just wondering what she was doing for the festival. You'll come back when you're done, then? Sure. I'll keep an eye out for Hanako, too. Thank you, Hisao. I walk off from the stall and find a seat, carefully cradling the steaming wooden bowl in both hands. Outside for the last couple minutes, changing orders and change. Problems or just busy? Compared to the dumplings from before, this is quite nice. A little cool compared to what it probably should be, perhaps, but the flavor's enough to cover for that reasonably well. As a drink, I can't help but feel somewhat guilty for not being as involved in the as I drink, I can't help but feel somewhat guilty for not being as involved in the festival as the others. It can't really be helped considering I was dropped into the school only a week ago, but it still weighs heavily on my mind. That and the fact that a few students don't really seem to be enjoying the festival as much as the visitors. Eventually I finish my bowl and leave for the stall to drop it off. Considering that there seems to be no line at all, I take my time walking up. It seems the teacher's mission paid off. There are now over a dozen students helping, and much of the unpacking has been done. Despite most of them seeming quite relaxed as they work, Lilly still appears to be somewhat stressed. Right, I know what I'll do. Even if it's just one person, I'll make the festival more enjoyable for her. As I place the bowl on the counter, I call out to Lilly. Ah, Hisao, you brought it back? Yeah, here. I slide it into her hands, and she takes it over to someone who is apparently on cleaning duty. Considering that I didn't see them here before, it's probably a penalty for their tardiness. Hey, Lilly? She perks up and returns to the counter as she hears my voice again, realizing that I'm still here. Want to go see some more of the festival? She puffs her cheeks disapprovingly. It looks kind of cute, and in complete contradiction to her usually reserved nature. It takes a few seconds for me to get what she's taking issue with. Oops. I didn't mean to... Lilly giggles at me, exposing her teasing for what it is. You're still not used to the skill, are you? She got me. Still, I kind of need to stay with our stall. It's taken until just now to even get everything unpacked. I guess her reluctance shouldn't overly surprise me, considering how much work she's put into this. Everything seems to be running fine now, though. Besides, you've got extra help on hand anyway. A boy in the middle of cooking some soba noodles turns towards us, grinning. Go on, Lils, you've earned yourself a break. We can hold down the fort for now. If you say it's okay, then I suppose so. But if you need any help, then we'll call you. Go on, we'll be fine. Lilly finally gives up her resistance as he waves a spatula at her. She feels her way around the back of the stall and picks up her cane on the way. I guess the first thing we should do is look for Hanako. Lilly seems kind of worried about her, and I doubt she'd be the type of kind of person to enjoy milling about in crowds like this all alone. So, I guess we should search for Hanako. Where to first? The both of us go quiet for a moment to think. Maybe she's in her dorm room? I doubt it. She doesn't keep too many things in there, so she'd have nothing to do. The library? Oh, yep, the library. Ah, the library? As good a place to any to search for an avid reader, I suppose. The library it is. We'll check there first, then. Aside from the muffled sounds of the crowd seeping in from outside, the inside of the school seems almost deserted. That was not like how it was in Kenji's route. Yeah, this was not what Kenji's route. The school was like crowded and then. In order to make sure everyone had enough room, I guess all the events were organized to be held outside on school grounds. They were definitely quite large by any other school standards. It's nice and quiet in here, isn't it? Yeah, much nicer than the hustle and bustle outside. We take our time and slowly walk through the first floor of the school, eventually reaching the stairs to the second floor. I can't help but notice how Lilly anticipates every door and obstacle, her cane remaining still and her hands skating along the hallway railings. You really know the school well, don't you? She smiles and nods straight ahead. I've been here for a few years now, so I know where everything is. The dorms still trip me up though, sometimes. I haven't been there as long and they're not as well laid out as the main building. If I'm remembering right, they used to be unused buildings before being renovated and used as dormitories. That explains why the male and female dorms look different from the outside, and why their rooms seem kind of unusual for sleeping quarters. I'd assumed she'd been living in the dormitory since she began attending the school, but now I'm reminded of what she said yesterday. That's right, you mentioned that before. I'd assumed that most of the students here lived in the dormitories once they enrolled. A lot of them seem to, in any case. Lily's expression becomes somewhat harder to read, my questioning evidently touching on a delicate point. Well, how should I say? Everyone has their reasons. Something tells me that one of those with reasons is Hanako, hence her tiptoeing around the answer. My own predicament is yet another such case. I guess it's a choice everyone here would have to make for themselves, or, in my instance, have made for them. It can't be helped, I suppose. At least Yamaku itself seems like a nice place. It's good to hear you say that. I'd thought you were coming to dislike it. What about you, though? My reversal of Lily's statement takes her by surprise. I've been here for a while, so... It's not that. You just seemed pretty depressed about Akira. What's with that look? Akira's taken. Sorry, Hisao. Lily never sees how fast my palm meets my face at her sly accusation. Oh, has it been busy for you, my dear? Hey, I was worried about you. That's no way to respond to concern. While she gives an amused grin, we round the corner of the hallway and enter the library. As we do so, it isn't hard to spot Hanako, considering that the room is completely devoid of anyone else. Given that there are no staff around, I guess there's no need to heed the usual library rules. I call out to her. Okay, just give her a jump scare. Hey, Hanako. Hanako is here? As she hears our voices, Hanako's head flicks up from behind a book. Probably the same one she'd been reading on Friday. Hisao? Lilly? Just thought we'd drop by. Lilly just managed to escape from the noodle stall with a little help. That wasn't really an escape. Hanako gives a small giggle, briefly surprising both of us. I just thought that Lilly might not be enjoying the festival. Well, now we can enjoy it together, right? The two nod happily before we set out of the library and towards the festivities. I hand over some change to the girl behind the counter and take the 2 styrofoam cups of tea. I try to accentuate my bow a bit to cover for the fact that she's quite obviously deaf. Come to think of it, I probably should have asked for help instead of leaving those two in the gardens while I brought drinks. Trying to juggle the 2 cups of hot tea for them and a can of coffee for myself out of a vending machine isn't exactly easy. With some careful maneuvering, though, I manage to keep everything stable and upright as I walk over to the bench where Lilly and Hanako are sitting and chatting. It's actually quite a nice place. Lit only by moonlight, it's tucked away some distance from the main events. Compared to how hot it had been during the day, this spot is also pleasantly cool by now. Not that it matters all that much. Most of the visitors have moved to areas that are either closer to the fireworks or higher on the hill in order to view the display apparently planned. Welcome back, Hisao. Her ears are good. I'm not exactly close, and even Hanako hadn't noticed me. Here you go. Sorry it's instant, but that's all they had left by now. Hanako gingerly takes the cup from my right hand, and I gently place the other into Lily's outstretched hands. Did you enjoy the festival then, Hisao? Yeah, it was pretty fun. An honest answer. Much of the food may have been somewhat subpar, but it was a lot of fun in the end, especially with Hanako and Lilly. In fact, I think those two may have enjoyed themselves even more than I did. With both Lilly and me around, much of Hanako's withdrawn nature around others died down enough for her to enjoy herself. Oh. As we sit drinking, the whistle of the first firework rings out before it explodes into a vibrant shower of blue against the night sky, heralding the beginning of the end for the festival. Enthusiastic shouts can be heard from the crowds scattered around the skull grounds celebrating them. For minutes on end, Hanako and I watch the fireworks overhead, as Lilly blissfully listens to them with her eyes shut. Red, green, yellow, star-shaped, circular and patterned, and all manner of shapes and colours fill the air, one after the other, and dance across the sky. It is still festival time. No place near where I lived put on such lavish displays. Festivals like this were a thing of the past in such a metropolitan area. To be seen such a sight with these two, it's probably the happiest I've been in a long while. So, that's it. The festival is finally ending. Yeah. She gives a delicate, wistful sigh. As much as I might complain about all the stuff we have to do, it's still sad that we'll have graduated before the next Yamaku festival. I walk forwards and stand beside Lilly, gently resting a hand on her shoulder. Don't worry, we still have Tanabata later in the year, right? You're right. It would be nice to go there when it comes. Minutes of silence pass, with only the blasts of the fireworks to be heard. Seeing these two reminds me of those words of advice Lilly had given me as we walked into town together. Cherish the opportunity to make new friends, huh? Hey, Lilly? She turns her head slightly to show that she's listening, Hanako's gaze still firmly fixed on the technicolor fireworks bursting overhead. You mind if I join you two for tea every now and again? The smile on her face is more than enough to see her answer. It would be a pleasure, Hisao. Oh, there's our little cutscene. Oh, the Shanghai. Okay, Akira's taller in this cutscene than she was. Oh. Past. Okay. That's the first depiction I think we've seen of like any of the a younger Oh, hello. That's loud. So, my first thoughts on seeing like that cutscene is that Lily's. I feel like family is going to be a big part in Lily's. I could. I feel like I kind of want to. Oh, these clips foreshadowed a little bit. Yeah, I'm trying to just like it happened like quite quickly that I didn't. I kind of feel I missed a little bit of happened, but like when it looked like Lily was looking back at Akira walking away, Akira seemed like to change. Well, she didn't seem to. She did change, but it was so quick I didn't really catch it. Like almost like looking more like Lily did. I don't know. I'm not sure how much I got from that one. Did compared to Rin's and Emmy's, it felt like the relationship between Lily and Hisao was definitely like more. It felt like more prominently foreshadowed. Though it's kind of, I suppose, like it's not. Is it really foreshadowing if it's obvious? I think I can do one or two more scenes before I have to finish up. I wake to the annoying din of my alarm clock. Its bright red numerals lighting up my face. It's the same alarm clock I had at home. One of the few remaining artifacts from my days before coming to Yamaku. I'd hoped that using it would help ease my transition into this new life. No such luck, though. Gorgily dragging myself out of bed, I wiped the sleep from my eyes. Then reach over to my desk. I open a couple of bottles of the medication strewn across it and swallow a few pills dry. Now, you need to have some water or something, Hisao, with them. By now, the process is starting to become automatic. Something I should be glad for, given their purpose. Feeling much more awake than before, I wander into the bathroom. While the shower warms up, my mind begins to wander as my new daily routine begins once again. The bright colours of the fireworks fill my mind, as do the two girls with whom I spent my time watching them. It feels strange to be moved so much by people I know so little about. Then again, I suppose these aren't normal circumstances. At least I have someone to talk to now, aside from my schoolmate next door. With the time left before school begins today waning, I begin to get ready for class. Walking through the door into the classroom, I notice that I'm still somewhat early. I see about 5 or 6 students milling around, most of them looking as if they'd rather be still in bed. It's at times like this that I appreciate being a morning person. That said, 2 students in particular seem just as perky as always. Hi Shizune. Hi Misha. I suddenly realized that my greeting would be lost on the former, so I quickly followed up with a wave. She doesn't seem overly bothered. Or interested, for that matter. Nope, you've sided with Lily now, Hisao. Shizune is no longer a friend. Hello, Hichan. Are you feeling well? I can only assume her greeting comes from Shizune. It's hard to tell if she's speaking as herself or Shizune sometimes. Better than most everyone else, I guess. You two seem bright and chipper. Misha signs this back to Shizune as I say it, eliciting a somewhat terse answer, if her sharp and rapid arm movements are any indication. Considering that these two made such a big deal out of festival preparations, I probably should have chosen my words more carefully. Since you're a new student, we've been cutting you some slack. Please don't expect this kind of task dodging to be allowed in the future. Pursuing the enemy. Yeah. Misha looks as if she's about to add her own comment, but quickly goes back to interpreting as Shizune continues, unabated. While your contribution to Class 3-2 stall is appreciated... Huh, word sure got around quickly. That or these two have their fingers on the pulse of the school. We would prefer your efforts to be focused on the task at hand, namely, your own class. As much as I hate to admit it, they do have a point. Before I can respond, though, Shizune adds something more which draws a smile from Misha. Did you enjoy the festival then? Lecture over, I guess. Yeah, it was good. Did you two enjoy it? Shizune gives a short nod as Misha grins and bounces her head up and down. The contrast, side by side, is amusing. Out of the corner of my eye, I notice more students starting to trickle into the classroom. A quick glance at my watch confirms that they're a few minutes late. I look over to Hanako's seat and realize that she's already there, and contentedly reading a book. It makes me wonder just how long she's been there without me noticing. With heavy footsteps coming up the hallway signaling Muto's arrival, our idle talking comes to an end, and I take my seat next to Misha. As the door slides open, he strides through with a ponderous gait. His posture is even worse than usual, and his eyes are barely staying open. I guess my quip to Lilly and Hanako about the staff was misplaced. Everyone opens their books as he reaches his desk, and the first class of the new week begins. I rub my eyes as the lunch bell rings out, glad for the temporary reprieve from work. I'm entirely unsurprised when I look over to the door and see Lilly standing there, cane in hand, patiently waiting for Hanako. Considering her acceptance of my request to join them yesterday, I decide to spend my lunchtime with them rather than eat alone. Hanako moves surprisingly fast to meet her companion, and the two enter the hallway before I can catch up. I do wonder, I feel Hisao should have, involved Hanako in the decision, kind of, is it okay, is it okay for me to have tea with you every now and again? Because, yeah, Lilly might be okay with it, but I feel Hanako maybe should have been involved into that decision. Lily's head turns slightly, registering the sound of footsteps behind her. As Hanako notices and follows her lead, she almost jumps in surprise. Hisao? Hello, Hisao. Hi, sorry if I startled you. Lilly turns to greet me, helped in her orientation by Hanako. Good afternoon, Hisao. Are you joining us? If it's no trouble, there's not much else to do, really. It's not entirely wrong, since Hanako might have been too scared to say no if she was born. Yeah, I feel like maybe Hisao, maybe it's something that, at least Lilly should have brought up with Hanako, one-to-one. Because I imagine Hanako's probably more comfortable talking, and, giving her own, wants when it's just to Lilly. Lilly gives a small nod, as if to silently brush away the idea that it would be troubling in the least. We descend one set of stairs and walk down the hallway to the usual room, our pace somewhat quicker than usual thanks to Lilly using Hanako for direction, rather than her cane and the railings. And you believe Lilly knows Hanako well enough to know? Yeah, even if, not to know if it's okay, but just to, make sure Hanako knows that, hey, Hisao might be joining us every now and again. Alrighty. As expected, it's deserted. Lilly didn't think someone was good, she'd decline. Yeah. The sounds of the other clubs can only barely be heard as sunlight streams into the room from outside. Looking around the room, I notice a couple of empty easels propped up against a wall that I don't think were there before. The art club must use this room as extra storage. Should I get the chess set out? Hanako's voice seems less tense when she's directly addressing Lilly. Yes. I'll make the tea while you sort the pieces. I can do that for you if you'd like. She ponders the offer for a moment before smiling, confirming that I've made the right choice. Her face is remarkably easy to read. Very well, thank you. She slides her retracted cane into the handle of her bag and sets it against one of the table legs, before taking a seat opposite Hanako. As I prepared tea for the three of us, I can hear the small wooden pieces being set on the board. I wonder how good Lilly is at chess, given her circumstances. By the time I place the steaming teacups on the table, Lilly and Hanako have already moved their first pieces as they nibble on sandwiches and rice balls from their respective bags. I note that the chessboard they're using has holes in the middle of each square and pegs on the bottom of the pieces, and each dark square slightly raised. Watching Lily's fingers skating over the board, tracing out the positions of the pieces, makes me marvel a little at the simple ingenuity of the design. It must be specifically made for blind players. Here you go. Hanako gives a small nod as I put down the cup next to her side of the board. Lily's hand ventures sideways slightly, so I gently place the cup touching the tips of her fingers, a gesture she seems to appreciate. I finally take a seat and silently sip my tea as the two play. The contrast in their appearances while playing is interesting to watch. Hanako looks closely at the board, her face one of focused concentration. Lilly, on the other hand, keeps her head level and maintains her calm neutrality. I imagine Lilly probably has to keep focusing on, maintaining a visual, a mental image of the board. Lily's gentle voice addresses both of us as she continues to play. How was class now that the festival's over? I look to Hanako to see whether she'll answer first, but see that she's doing the same. Not great. Half of the class seemed to be dozing off, even including the teacher. Not to mention a test on top of all of that. Hanako quietly adds her own agreement with this. I could imagine that being a bit difficult for you, being a transfer student. Well, I think I did fine. Other than the shock of a test coming so early, science is probably my best subject. How'd you do, Hanako? Me? Okay, I guess. Hanako's too sincere to be able to pull off lying very well. That much is obvious. Lily's smile slips very slightly. From her reaction, Hanako mustn't be skilled enough at academics to do very well without preparation. How did your class handle it, Lilly? It went surprisingly well, actually. Only one student was absent, which was better than what the teacher expected. I have a guess as to who that student might be. With the topic all but run dry, the two concentrate on their chess game once again. Pretty consistent that Hisao thrives in silence and stuff. Okay. At least that's something about his character. I wonder if that's kind of like when they were writing the story, that was one of the established character traits he had. I can't say I've ever liked the idea of chess as a spectator sport, but given its unique nature, for once I'm wrapped in watching the game unfold. As time wears on, both of them demonstrate decent skill at playing the game. Having captured two more pawns than Hanako, Lilly has the upper hand, but only slightly. Until Hanako makes a strange move with her queen. Seizing upon this lapse in judgment, Lilly takes the piece of her knight. Without hesitation, Hanako moves a pawn to take Lily's rook on the opposite side of the board and promotes it to queen. Lily's face falters as her fingers move over the pieces and she realizes that she just fell to Hanako's trap. It's a little distracting to have the board traced out after each move, even if it's out of necessity. Judging by Hanako's lack of reaction, she must be used to this. She and Lilly must have played at least a few games of chess against each other after all. Check. That's not bad at all. Nice, Hanako. The compliment causes her to flower into a surprised blush. Activate Hanako's trap card. No, but I know my chess. Check isn't checkmate. Thank you. I didn't think it would work. I look over to Lilly, her fingers having just finished tracing out the position of her remaining pieces in an attempt to extricate her king from this bind. I think this is checkmate. I take another look at the board to confirm. Sure enough, her king has nowhere to escape without being threatened by another piece. My earlier question as to which of them is better at this has just been answered. Well, there it is. It is checkmate. So it is. Lilly gives a small sigh as Hanako smiles. From their reactions, this seems like a fairly usual result. How long have you two been playing? Since I was young. Lilly nods at Hanako's brief answer. Hanako taught me how to play soon after I met her. I can beat her every now and then, but that's a rarity. I don't seem to have the right mindset for it. That was like... Wasn't it that... Like, if you'd asked me about, like, what hobbies Hanako might have had, chess wouldn't have been one of them, I have to be honest. Yeah, I think that I think I was right though in Lily's. I do feel by the end of Lily's route, I'm going to be kind of set that Hanako's the one I'm most interested in next. If Lilly came to Yamaku at the start of high school and met Hanako when she came to move to the dorms, that means she's only been playing for about 1 year. After seeing Hanako's level of play, I'm not too surprised Lilly has trouble beating her. But she's better at languages than I am, so... Lilly gives an appreciative, if slightly amused, smile at Hanako's quick reversal of her compliment. Well, that's how it is. Much to everyone's surprise, the bell suddenly rings, heralding an end to the lunch break. That game lasted longer than I thought it did. Same. I guess we'd better get back to class. Hanako's already in the middle of packing up, so I take Lily's bag and offer it to her. To my surprise, she takes it and nods, but then places it back down on the table. Hisao, may I make a request? Sure, go ahead. Would you mind if I were to quickly feel your face? Oh, no. Go ahead. I don't mind. The question takes me severely off guard, but once I regain my composure, it seems sensible enough. So far, Lily's had no idea what I actually look like, and this would be her only way to find out. I wonder if that's like maybe an indication that Lily's wasn't born blind. Needs to check if his face is symmetrical. Oh. See, I don't know. Now maybe this is just me being ignorant, but I wonder if kind of like would feeling out someone's face, like to kind of get an image of them, like be applicable to someone who never had sight? Lilly raises her right hand, which I take in mine and guide to my face before letting go. The room is entirely silent as Lily's hand moves over and around my features, from my chin to my cheeks and everywhere else. Well, I guess she was born blind? Oh, okay. I wonder if she'll explain, but I'm just curious then if she does have a... No. Yeah, I suppose maybe just like having that, it's an equivalent. It's not like she's trying to build a mental image. Because I think I've heard like some talk from people who were born blind that like they don't have like any reference point to like build a mental image of something. I expected this to feel a lot more disquieting than it does. I suppose that's because the action is entirely a matter of practicality. being functionally no different to simply looking at someone's face. Her hand is soft, but what takes me by surprise is the length of her fingers, not to mention how sure even the slightest of her movements are. I have no doubt that her level of tactile feeling would be far beyond mine. Her hand briefly runs once through my hair before retreating. I am sure that every inch of my face has been committed to her memory. It's only now, too, that I realize Hanago has been silently watching the entire time. I do wonder if Lilly had, if she asked Hanago the same, not long after they met? And, how long it might have taken Hanago to be comfortable with that? Thank you for letting me do that, Hisao. And, if I might add, I think you're quite handsome. I blush a little at her remark before raising a questioning eyebrow. But if you can't see, how... Just because I can't see, that doesn't mean I don't have my own preferences. We'd better go now. Yeah, that's a good point. I guess we'll see you later then, Lilly. Walking through the hallways back to our classrooms, I noticed that Hanago seems quieter than before, but also more comfortable. Lilly, her hand on Hanago's shoulder, seems to pick up on her assured pace as well, smiling as they walk. If I could spend the rest of my time at Yamaku like this, I don't think it'd be so bad. All that's needed for joy are small exchanges of happiness, after all. As I reach my desk and set my bag beside it, I realize something. Or rather, my stomach does. Oh, did you forget to eat your lunch, Hisao? I was so busy with those two, I forgot to buy lunch. Nope, and that's a perfect point to save, I think. Wouldn't be surprised since Hanago and Lilly are pretty close. Yeah, but oh no, I would believe that Hanago, they did get to that point, but I'm wondering if it took longer. I'm wondering if, because this has only been a couple of weeks for Hisao and Lilly. But I wonder if it might have taken Hanago longer to open up and kind of be okay with that. Because yeah, they're pretty close now, but they've also known each other for a year. Alrighty, let me put a save down though. Because I think that'll have to be me for tonight. So yeah. Unexpectedly got Kenji's root. I think it might have taken Hanago less time. She knows Lily doesn't. Fail. So yeah, that's where I'm maybe not too sure, because I wonder if for Hanago that might have challenged the comfort of kind of part of that comfort came that she can't those scars aren't really being perceived. Whereas there could be the idea of oh well, if she feels my face, she'll know what I look like, so to say. Because I wonder if it might take more time, because then out of fear that she would have opinions about it once she actually knows about it. No. But yeah, given that you're saying you think it might have, I'm guessing this is a question that's never addressed anyway, so... No, we can speculate all we want. Or do I suppose as well, I've yet to see Hanago's root and learn more about what kind of thought processes she has. But yeah, that'll be me for tonight. I'll be back tomorrow evening, same time with Monster Hunter Rise. And then, yeah, no stream Wednesday from now on. Well, there might be the occasional Wednesday stream, just when something else is on that means, you know, the church meeting is cancelled. But yeah, regular schedule is not going to have Wednesday streams anymore. And then on Thursday, I'll be back with more Katawa Shoujo to like get properly started into Lilly's route, because we only really had that one scene so far. So far, it's already feeling like this'll, like, Lilly's route, and I suppose maybe Hanako's as well, is going to have the most, like, it feels like we're going to have like the most interaction with the two characters, because Lilly and Hanako do seem like the closest, but except for Misha and Shizune. But I know Misha's not a pursuable character. But it feels like I'm going to see a lot, like quite a lot of Hanako in Lilly's route, compared to, like, we saw a decent amount of Emi and Rin in each other's routes. But also at the same time, like, as we went on, it felt like, particularly in Rin's route, we didn't see a lot of Emi after, like, once you start going to the atelier, like from that first visit, it feels like you very rarely see Emi. But yeah, so yeah, I do get the feeling that by the time I finish Lilly's route, I'll definitely be wanting to see more of Hanako, which will leave Shizune to last. Especially because, like, even Kenji I managed to get before her. So yeah, so yeah, that'll be me for today. So I'll just say thank you so much for coming along, and I do hope you enjoyed. Though I think this was almost like a bit of a private stream for you, Money. I don't think I've seen it. No one else has popped into it. It popped into this one. Here's I saw Kenji said, yeah. But no. So, I'll just say, I hope you have a good day. I hope you have a good evening. And until next time I see you, goodbye.